Now, you can have different endings depending on your affection rating toward other characters. And it changes, from what I've heard, very small bits of the ending. Basically, who ends up with fate at the end. Now, I don't know if I happen to have gotten Sophia here, or I think this is just part of the actual ending. Yeah. Basically, the way it works is we wake up and we figure out what the hell is going on and how we exist in a world that doesn't exist. And why there's such a massive lens flare in the top of the screen there.
Hey!
And yes, we have more party members alive as well.
You're late, fool.
He is a fool, that is true.
Welcome back, Fate.
Hey, guys.
Took you long enough.
Yeah, I see you guys are okay too. What a relief.
Now, I can understand if they want to use...
You mind explaining what happened? Have we
explanations like such? But we managed to stay alive for, you know, heart of the cards reasons. But how is the ground we're standing on?
All that we can see in our dimension, and everything we can touch. It's all been a fabrication created for us to perceive. And now Luther has disabled our perception of such things, effectively erasing them from existence. Without perception, there is no existence.
There's no interpretation. Something could exist, but you couldn't interpret it.
And yet, even though everything around us was an illusion, I'm positive that our minds, which perceive that dimension, really do exist.
Okay. So how does this work?
No matter what Luther claims, our minds are the only things that were real.
That's exactly why Luther was unable to erase our consciousness. He merely deleted all the illusions around us. Doing so could not possibly erase that which actually exists outside of his creation.
I'm not going to pretend to understand that. It is what it is.
So, you're saying Luther never acknowledged our existence? Does his failure to do so explain why we still exist here?
Probably.
Maybe. Strictly speaking, the universe as we know it most likely no longer exists. Nevertheless, we still feel its existence in our minds.
If everyone in that universe still feels like we do right now, then that universe really does exist.
No matter what really happened.
This is quite the philosophical conundrum.
You could call it that, or 60 layers of bullshit. Either one, really.
Does it really matter? Haven't we taken care of everything? If we have, then let's just leave it at that.
Cliff, you can't just say that we're not going to explain things and call that a good answer.
We exist here, and so does the universe. And that's enough. Let's go. Let's go back to where we belong.
And how are we going to do that? We're on some piece of ground that, for all we know, is floating in the middle of nowhere.
To everyone's universe.
Do we have a spaceship to get back there? Do we know how to get back there? Are you going to explain anything? The answer is no. And that is the game. So, I'm assuming this is, if I remember correctly, this is the same song we heard in the beginning. So that means this video is probably going to get flagged. Hopefully they'll let it stay on. If not, I'll have to make some changes and remove the track, but I do like this song. So anyway, might as well start with, well, music. The music for this game is awesome, from the Divine Spirit of Language, which is probably the most not emotional, but intense, you know, revving you up kind of a battle theme. That and Hunter's Chance from Final Fantasy IX, just two of the best that they've ever come up with, in my opinion. Lots of tracks that words and stuff composed or put forth enough emotion to help you understand what was happening in a certain scene. That, I think, you know, the music was really well fitted to this game. Certain scenes that were comedy had comedy-based music, and it sounded fine, and it fit the situation. As far as the music actually suiting what it was supposed to be suiting, it did quite well in that respect. The story. Now the story is a lot of fun, regardless of the BS ending there where they explain nothing. I enjoy the story quite a bit. Specifically, you know, going down to the planet, dealing with the political tensions of the war, you know, helping them come to peace with that, and moving forward beyond that. The whole Matrix 4D space plot twist there that they did, thought that was really well done, really interesting to explore. 4D space could have used some more like people to talk to in there that weren't just trying to help us. There was basically people that trying to help us, people who ignored us, which were NPCs, and then, you know, people that were trying to beat the crap out of us. There wasn't a whole lot of extra help as we got there. It's like, oh, this is this great new world that's completely different from everything we've ever seen. We didn't get a lot of that, which was unfortunate. And if you notice on the left there, other characters are starting to join up with Fate as he's running aimlessly somewhere. Now, gameplay. The battle system. I love the battle system. Hey, look at that! Crossell, cool. The battle system for this game is a lot of fun. It's also pretty tedious because you have to get mastery on your skills. I kind of wish they did away with that, and that would have made it really, like, you know, kind of a top tier battle system, and I still think it is. The battle system has a lot of interest to it, and it is one of the things that brings me back to this game over and over and over again because I just enjoy the battle system so much. Definitely one of the better implemented battle systems I've experienced in a JRPG book, in my experience. Some people may not like it. It could use tweaks for sure. But anyway, what else? We have, well, the other parts of the gameplay, like the item creation. The item creation is a little too intense, like having to randomly select values and then input them instead of just, you know, I want to make this item, let's try and make this item, and just select it from a list. That would have been much more effective and much less tedious. And I think that's Fate's parents there. And we have Dion and, oh, what was it, Mina? One of the two. But yeah, there's some things that could have used some tweaking. There's a lot of things about the gameplay. You know, the Ring of Disintegration was a nice feature. I liked that there were reasons to go back to locations, even though, you know, we've already dealt with them. Basically, the way that they built the world was really well done because you actually had like locations that were important for the story, and then reasons to go back to them later. Going back to, where was that? The Kurlsaw training facility is one that I thought was really well implemented because we had a couple of times where we had to go back there, and it, at least in some senses, made sense. You know, the exchange, you know, quote unquote, with what was his name? Oh, the Vendini guy. I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, that was well done. What else? Talking about music, story, gameplay, battle system. Oh, what else is there to talk about? Characters. You've heard a lot of my opinions on the characters throughout the game. We had Miss Annoying Voice and Farlene. We had, Fate, who had some irritating qualities throughout a lot of the game, but not too many. We had Mirage, who really needed more showtime, but she was a bonus character for the developer's cut, so I do understand that.
Yes, it is.
Cliff, of course, being my favorite character.
Say hi to the old man
is
for
just
me.
a lot of fun.
And apologize to him. Tell him I'm sorry I can't take over the dojo.
Now, I don't think they're
Sure,
siblings. I think they just kind of grew up together, so childhood friends.
Is his health all that bad? I can't believe it. He's such a tough old guy. I always thought he was indestructible.
I think he's exaggerating a little bit. He just wants me to come home, that's all.
Maybe they are siblings.
I see. Well, he sure does seem down in the dumps. Maybe it's just his age catching up with him.
It's hard to say. I could probably
and
look it
I've
up
been
somewhere.
away for so
but-
long.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are the little endings that we get for each of the characters.
Class system shortly. Passengers wishing to board the Canis should report to Gate 3. Your attention, please.
And this is where I believe the different endings for
Well,
Fate
I
come
have
in.
to go or I'll miss the transport. See you later, Cliff.
Some of the
I'm
other
sorry.
characters
I
needed
wish I could go
more
back with you.
development, specifically the
It's
ones
pretty
from,
much impossible the way things stand.
other than Nell from...
Yes, you got the short end of the stick again.
What was it?
Don't worry about it. That's what I
Elcor's.
like about you, Cliff.
Words and stuff, eh? Yeah, so I think they did a reasonable job with most of them. I actually don't think I've ever seen Albel's ending. Usually I just don't recruit him and then beat the boss. Like, I'll recruit him after I've beaten Luthor and use him for post-game stuff, but usually don't have him at this point in the game. All the characters had things set
Who'd
up.
have known there was a place like this in the dungeons underneath the castle?
Oh?
The elite investigative team hasn't come back. Did they fight over credit or goof up? I didn't think they'd have any problem with this mission. I guess I expected too much from them. They may be useless, good-for-nothing worms, but I guess I'd better at least recover their corpses.
Albel, I really wish he had...
Another guest. First 6, then 1. Foolish bravery, or is it recklessness?
I know that voice. I don't know who it is, but I know that voice.
You look like something of a fighter, but you are still a man of this world. You are no match for me. It would be best for you if you just went home peacefully. Or would you
This seems like a
prefer to
fitting
become
ending
another
for
one of my
Albel, but I
mute
do
servants,
wish he had some
like those
more
who
character
came
development
before?
throughout the game. And
Oh, so you're the cause of all the problems.
I also wish he was a little more likable. He is
And
quite
what if I
likable,
was?
but he's also a complete asshole.
Don't
So I wish he
expect
would
to die
made a little bit more of an
painlessly.
arc to
I'll
becoming,
smash your face until
more of a
you're
nice
begging
guy,
me to kill you
even if
and
he
get it
still
over
is
with.
the same arrogant jackass that he is.
You're a brave one. However,
I don't think you're beating that.
I am a servant of the gods, created by Falstar, the god of death. Do you really think I would sully myself by fighting with a lowly mortal organism like yourself? Korima, Roxa, Mizua, Saska, come out, my servants.
Okay. These creatures are kind of creepy. They seem like they're dead.
What the? Bah! You scum!
You who were abandoned by the gods you served and left behind on this land. May I, In my great kindness, extend a special hand of charity to you, and retrieve you as my own.
I guess as kind of
Look
an
at what's happened
add-on
to you, fools! Think of
from
your place!
characters would be the voice acting. Now, the voice acting in this game is quite well done for the most part, but there are a lot of hang-ups,
Very well.
you know, too much time in
It is
between
time
one
for you to
line of dialogue and
In
another,
eternal despair!
and there are some cheesy moments, specifically with Fate. But for the most
After
part,
learning about our country's state of confusion,
they've
the
done
noblemen
quite
of Greeton,
well.
where the damage was relatively minor, formed a conspiracy to take advantage of the situation.
Oh, so we finally learned something else
However,
about Greeton.
now that the Lord of Arzum has been stricken with an illness, the conspiracy is slowly dying out.
Looks like very little has changed for Nell.
Is
She's
that
doing
so?
exactly what we'd expect her to
This
do.
is very
Her duty.
unfortunate for the Lord of Arzum, yet very fortunate for our country. We have asked our citizens to suffer too much already. Now, our sacred kingdom of Aquaria has lost even the ability to avoid useless conflicts. In the years to come,
There
until
are
our
other
kingdom's
characters
strength
such
is recovered,
as,
we will have to ask
I
you to
don't
perform
know,
many difficult
the
missions.
other one from
We
Aquaria
are
that
counting
I
on
don't
you.
even want to talk about, who really had no
Yes, Your
character at all
Majesty.
and had a total of like 2
Please,
scenes
this
in the
goes
entire
without
game.
saying. I have yet to earn the honor of serving the Crimson Blade, but I will not betray Your Majesty's sacred trust. I will spare no efforts in these tasks.
That, of course, being Adri. Yeah, there are some of the
It would
optional
seem we can
characters,
stop
and
worrying
in the
about
case of
Greeton
him,
for a
he's
while.
actually a required character in the developer's
Although
cut.
Ariglyph is another
He
story.
just
According to the
doesn't
reports of
have
the
a whole lot
Spectral
of character,
Legion,
and you get him
everything is
at
peaceful
such a
in the
late
satellite
point,
region.
or at least you can,
So, it would appear that domestic
that it
problems
just
are our main
doesn't make a
concern.
whole bunch of sense to pick him up. At least with Mirage, we got more interest in her
agree.
character throughout the game.
We do not want to
So,
believe
you know,
this, but
we just kind of saw her a bunch of times here and there. We learned little bits here
Domestic
and there,
problems?
and, you know, meet her up a few times before
We
she
just
actually
received a
joins the
report
party.
from
She
Claire.
doesn't just show
There is a
up
sense
and
of
pop into the
restlessness
party for no
among certain
reason.
wealthy merchants in Paterni. We have not determined the size or objectives of this plot, or who the ringleaders are, or any such details, but we must begin an official investigation.
I do think the
You
character
are to
design
select
for
one
this
appropriate
guy
person
was
to
his name
handle this.
Lascelles.
We also
Is a
plan
little
to assign
off.
a member of the Chain Legion
He
who is familiar with
seems
the local area to assist in this
evil.
investigation.
And like he wants to usurp the throne,
Understood.
both in kind of how he
Very
looks
well.
and how he
I will
speaks.
undertake
So
this
I think
mission.
that one was. I think the cast of the voice fit the character
Are
and
you
how
sure?
he looks, but unfortunately doesn't really fit what
But
the
no.
character's purpose is in the
you
game.
just returned home. You must still be tired. Should you not assign this task to someone else?
Delegate now. Come
No,
on.
Your Majesty. I need to keep working. It's the only way I can relax now.
This will not do. Trusting the capabilities of one's subordinates and giving them appropriate tasks to build up experience, these are also the responsibilities of those who lead. Entrust this job to another.
Her Majesty has spoken. You must send one of your subordinates. What? Don't tell me you're actually complaining about taking a few days off.
I will give the matter due consideration.
There you go.
In that case, you are dismissed. With the past war, our country finds itself in dire need of what personnel it has left. Take good care of yourself.
We don't need you falling
Thank
down
you
because
very
you haven't
much.
had enough sleep.
Then I will take my leave now.
And pointless ass shot for no reason. Who knows? Ah, there she is. Elena herself.
Hello, Professor Elena. You have an audience with Her Majesty?
That's right. It's about the motor I developed based on channeled force.
Oh god, they just
I
created
see.
the steam engine or something.
I haven't seen you in a long time. You sure look busy. But you're so young. Why don't you try to do some of the things only the young can do? I'll support you any way I can.
You know, I could say the same to you. I hear you really put everything you've got into your research.
But that doesn't matter, since I'm not young anymore.
You have silver hair, but you come
Anyway,
across
I'll
as,
see you
know,
later.
like
It wouldn't do
40,
to keep Her Majesty waiting
maybe
any
30.
longer.
Ah, well.
Oh, and Professor Elena, why do you work so hard for all of us?
It's because I like this world, at least as much as anyone else does. Do you have a problem with that?
It's kind of an odd sequence. Whatever.